Let's head to Austin. Texas versus Kentucky. The Longhorns took care of business. 31-14. You never know when Kentucky comes to town how it's going to go, but this one was never close, and there were some big names on campus, starting with five-star offensive tackle Michael Fasusi. He's a major flip target. Then you got Nate Marshall, Auburn flip target. And really some big news that Jaime Ffrench and Myron Charles were in Austin and not in Gainesville. I mean, we just talked about how big of a weekend it was for the Gators as they win at home yet again. But Jaime Ffrench, there'd been a lot of smoke around him and Myron Charles and the Gators, but they both show up in Austin this weekend. Let's start with Michael Fasusi. How are you feeling about that one, Steve?
Well, he's going to visit Texas A&M next weekend, so I think he'll be able to stack these two visits up against each other, circle back with Oklahoma, see where the language is on some of the benefits of being a player off the field for these programs is at, and then make his final decision. But look, Oklahoma's not having the season that they wanted to have. They've had some changes on the coaching staff with the offensive coordinator. And I think that's really opened the door here for Texas and Texas A&M to make a late push. And he's wanted to go see some more games, so got a chance to watch the Longhorns run away from Kentucky. He'll get a chance to see the Longhorns play again next week. So he's going to see Texas play 2 times down the stretch. So if you're Steve Sarkisian, Coach Flood and company, you're pretty excited about that opportunity to have Michael Fasusi watch you again next week in College Station. So I think Texas A&M was the runner-up the first time. So coming into like the 2 visits, I maybe would have given them the edge. But look, there was someone I've even heard. Look, he was always going to go to Texas, and so Oklahoma was just like a little pit stop before the inevitable of going to Texas. So we'll see what happens. It's one of the most coveted players in the country. Also one of the most coveted players in the country from an NIL perspective, or the demand from an NIL perspective. I think he was one of the guys that was doing well in that department. So big visit coming up here with Texas A&M next, and he'll get a chance to watch Texas play 2 times in a row.
All right. Now, Nate Marshall, Auburn commitment on campus. He's an edge rusher. We know that Texas would like to add another defensive lineman, another edge. So what do you think about Nate Marshall and this trip to Austin? Something serious going on?
Well, anytime Texas gets a prospect on campus, it definitely raises my eyes with what they can offer on and off the field, the power of the burnt orange and that program, and certainly the caliber of ball that they're playing. I mean, this is one of the best teams in the country now, and they're not going anywhere. Top 5 recruiting class, looking to put the finishing touches on that. Nate Marshall at one point committed to Michigan. Auburn was the program that I think has led most of his process before the commitment to Michigan. Then obviously he flipped to Auburn. He has a great relationship on the Plains. That's the difference, right? So Texas can offer a lot of things. His relationship's obviously way better at Auburn, but we'll see all the things he picks up this weekend at Texas. I'm sure it's looking attractive.
All right. Now,
I don't think there's much panic on the Plains, though.
Okay. Jaime Ffrench, Myron Charles. It's got to be great to see them both on campus this weekend if you're a Texas fan, because they're both from the state of Florida. And as this season winds down and as we get closer to signing day, you never know if they made their last visit to Austin or not. So to see them on campus, I think that's got to be a vote of confidence in their commitment status with the Horns, would you say?
Yeah, look, Texas, they're not afraid to go toe-to-toe with anybody on the recruiting trail under Steve Sarkisian. From day one, we've seen them win some wars on the trail. Anytime you're recruiting out of the Sunshine State, it's never easy. Jaime Ffrench at one point was committed to Alabama, then was an Ohio State lean. Then they battle LSU and Miami down the stretch and win that one. And now they have to clear the Florida hurdle. He was at Florida last weekend. But getting them back, look, Texas has poured a lot into this recruitment. So I can certainly see him sticking with the Longhorns. And then Myron Charles, again, that was one. He was committed to Florida State at one point. But he's always loved Texas. And now Florida's trying to make a late charge. But Texas has spent a lot of time at the top or near the top of this young man's recruitment and certainly getting him back. He's excited about playing for the Longhorns.
All right. Well, big win at home for Texas, 31-14 over Kentucky. Quick note, Joseph Mbachu committed to the Texas Longhorns. That went down before the game. Mbachu's a 4-star defensive lineman out of Georgia who was originally committed to the Florida Gators. He opened it back up, took visits nearly everywhere from USC to Ohio State to Auburn, a few others as well. Joseph Mbachu was back at Florida last weekend, but made that commitment to Texas. So Texas fans, how we feeling after the big win over Kentucky? Some big names on campus, but what about the 5-star offensive tackle, Michael Fasusi? Think you're going to land him? Let me know. Comment section below.